Greetings from Honolulu, Hawaii. My name is Mike Underhill. This is my awesome wife, Brittany Underhill. And we're going to be sharing some answers from questions about what it's like to grow up with disciples as parents. I grew up with disciples as parents, so did my awesome wife, Brittany. And we'd love to answer that for you guys today.
Hi, my name is Jordan Swan. I'm 25 years old. I was baptized when I was 13 years old, and I've been a disciple for going on 12 years.
Hi guys, my name is Amanda. I'm excited to share a little bit about growing up as a Kingdom kid. So my parents have been disciples since before I was born, so that's it's all I've ever known. And now, as a mom of 4 and as a disciple, I get to implement some of those things I learned when I was a kid.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. Please don't pay attention to the Spider-Man. This is my dad's childhood room.
Hi everybody, my name is Malik Speckman, son of Luke and Brandon Speckman, and I want to share about my experience as a Kingdom kid, growing up in the Kingdom. My mom was baptized, I believe, when I was 2 months old. I could be wrong on that. So my whole life grew up going to Kids Kingdom and Use the Body, all that stuff. So I want to share my experience, what it's all meant to me.
For me, what made my home feel special is that I genuinely felt like my parents loved spending time with us as a family. They were totally committed to the Kingdom with church, Bible talk, discipling times, Bible studies, midweek, and yet I never felt like we got their leftovers. I always felt like they loved spending time with our family. We would have dinner every night at 5:30 p.m. and there was a rule that you could not answer the phone no matter who was calling. And so we would hear the voicemail box going off, but we were never allowed to answer it because that time was so sacred for spending special time with our family.
That's awesome. For me, what made my home feel special is interesting. It was having disciples over all the time. So I remember we had people over for Christmas. We adopted kids who stayed with us for like a summer program that were football players from another church. And we would just have disciples over at our house all the time. So that was like amazing to me, that we had our family, but then we had the church family that was part of our family as well. So that was really incredible growing up.
I think that growing up, my home felt like an extension of church in a lot of ways. My parents would host Bible talk and have a lot of Bible studies at home. And so my experience at church and my experience at home felt consistent. And growing up there, I didn't sense a duplicity from my parents. They were disciples all the time.
So my parents prioritize family time, specific designated time just for us, just to get closer and to bond. One of the things I remember specifically is doing Fear Factor. We would do just, these silly things, like we would do, my parents would set up obstacle courses for us and we'd have to, maneuver through them. I remember one time we had to be locked out in the garage at night with the lights off, for 30 seconds or whatever, in the dark. One time we had to, flush our foot down the toilet. One time we had to take a bite of a moldy piece of bread. Just, silly things that would help build our confidence, but also, help connect us a little better.
For me, what made my home feel special was definitely the love that I received from my parents, specifically my mom, because she was just so nurturing. Like, I think women just have that. She was so nurturing, she was so loving. She would give me lots of hugs, lots of kisses, and she would just tell me how important I was to her. My dad too, but my mom just had like a way about her that made me feel very loved and special, and it made the home like very special. I remember specifically a time when I was just like being terrible. I had like attitudes and a temper tantrum, and she was so patient. And I was like yelling and she would be calm. And I was like, wow, I don't deserve the way she's acting right now, and it made me feel really loved, and that made the home special for sure.
There are things that always stood out the most, just being a Kingdom kid. One was when my dad was the campus intern. There'd always be pool parties at our house, and it was just so cool for me because my uncles and aunties were disciples, and so getting to see when I was, be a little kid, all the big adults coming from college. It was like I just wanted to be cool with them, hang out with them, not like be like them, but I looked up to them, and just how family they were with people that weren't blood related was cool for me, because to me that's who they were to me. They weren't blood related, but to me they're family. That always felt the most, just all the different times being around other disciples, even when I wasn't a disciple, helped me really feel at home, because that's what they were to each other. And a lot of those memories stood out to me.
One of the biggest things that they did was using Christian concepts in our everyday life. So praying and sharing scriptures were just a regular part of our life. And so that taught me how to have a relationship with God just on a regular basis, that it wasn't compartmentalized to going to church and being at home, but it was all intertwined with how to love God, how to want to please God in every situation. I also felt like my parents were very good listeners, and so I always felt like I could be open with them and that they would help me. And so that made Christianity feel really real in my life at a young age.
That's awesome. For me, what did my parents do that helped me build faith? What made Christianity feel real? I think just like Brittany, very similar. My family always was excited about what the kingdom did. Like, we would have sports events, they were excited about it. We would be talking about first principles classes and what they were learning. We would be talking about different trips that were happening, church plantings that were happening. So my parents really enjoyed the church and really enjoyed sharing what was going on with us. And besides that, they knew the Bible. And I remember just hearing their knowledge of the Bible and things that they were learning in the Bible. So ultimately, there is this excitement and zeal and enthusiasm they had about what the church was doing and also what they were learning spiritually.
I think it was just a lot of little things. I don't think that it felt excessive or oppressive ever, but it was a lot of little things. I think my parents took good opportunities to teach me small lessons, and so when we would watch movies, when we would go places as a family, there were just little opportunities where my parents could take what was there and sort of explain it from a Christian perspective. And I think those little things helped build my faith.
I think the main thing was just seeing them live out discipleship every day. Every day. I don't think there's a day that I was like, oh, not a disciple today. But just seeing them pray all the time also, that was very impactful to me. I have a memory, I was probably 11 or 12, but I was running through the house and I barged into my parents' room doing who knows what. And my mom was kneeling by the side of the bed, just like weeping, praying. And I was like, oh my gosh, sorry, Mom, I'll come back later. And then, now seeing my dad all the time, he out on his patio praying all the time. If we're over at their house now in the morning, he's out there for like an hour or two praying every day.
Not every night, but usually we would sit down as a family on my parents' bed, and my dad would read like a comic book Bible to Felipe and I, and it was very good. And we would sing songs together, and he would read the stories and like do weird voices like for the characters. And it helped build faith, like just having the knowledge of God. I was like, it helped me know more about God, and it helped me like now actually. So I'd say like that time that he took to read the Bible with us and make it fun and interactive really impacted me and Felipe.
I think really just having lots of disciples over to our house constantly. We would have Bible talks, house church, my parents would have D times, Bible studies, just everything was at our house. And I think that had a big influence on me because, I don't know, just having disciples in your home all the time, it just shows you, someone other than your parents who's living out the same type of thing.
It is really just seeing them. This might sound a little crazy, but seeing them seek the kingdom first. Why? Because, I don't know, maybe people have different experiences with this, but, just seeing that there is something that they valued a lot. And that's kind of part of it, right? Like, they would bring me to these things. If I had a basketball game in the afternoon during church, they would have me come to pre-service. And even though I wasn't a Christian, that passed on of like, this is important whether you're, a disciple or not, this is valuable. And it moved my schedule, it moved things for me too. And but to me, what it puts into me is wow, there's something valuable out there that's not myself. There's something valuable out there that, isn't always basketball. There's something valuable, because when you're a kid, all you think about basketball, video games, fun. But then you realize you see what your parents are doing and what do they value. And what I saw that my parents valued was the church. And so, as kids, we adopt a little bit of what our parents do and what they value.
Yes, they definitely made mistakes. I think what helped us navigate through them is that we understood that their authority wasn't because they were perfect. It was because it's what the Bible told us to respect them, simply because they were our parents. They were always humble, and then they apologized where they needed to. But our respect for them came from our love for God, and that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, my parents, obviously, they definitely made mistakes. And I think besides apologizing, what my parents would do was they would share about how they got discipled. And so they would share their D times, and they would share what their disciples would say to them about how they were treating us. So we got to see not only that they made mistakes, but also that there were people in their life who were helping them and even teaching, rebuking, correcting, or training them in how they taught us. So it was pretty amazing that they pulled us in like that. I mean, wow, that was incredible that they had that kind of humility.
The next question is, how did they handle conflict and repentance? I think the biggest conflicts in our home were between me and my brother. And whenever there was conflict, they would teach us with scriptures. They would have us sit in a room and I think hold hands, from what they remember. I don't remember that. But we would just have to work it out and pray together at the end. And that helped us to learn how to resolve conflict. And obviously they would help us if we couldn't. But I just felt like there was an expectation of love. And so even my parents, when they disciplined us, which was very consistent, they always did it with love. I never felt like they were angry or impatient or just annoyed. But they always had a lot of love when they disciplined us, and they always made sure that conflict was getting resolved in the household.
Yeah. For me, like I said, they would pull in people who were disciples that they got advice from. And so if there's conflict for repentance, that would be addressed through discipling. And so we were very aware of just what was happening outside of the house in their lives to help them be better disciples.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Did my parents make mistakes? For sure. I think they were pretty good when I was a kid. I think when I became a teenager, after I was baptized, I think that there were times where it was a bit exasperating. I think growing up as a kid, they just sort of used their influence and they tried to put me around other good influences, and that really made me want to be a disciple for myself. But there were times where as a teenager, I think that they tried to be my parents and my disciplers, but I really just needed them to be my parents.
Yes, of course they did. Every parent is going to make mistakes and you're going to feel terrible about it, but it happens, okay? So one of the main things that I remember is just not feeling like I could be open with my parents. I would get very, like, if I got in trouble, I would get very bitter, and that would be the end of my sharing with them. So I don't know what it was specifically about the dynamic we had, but just feeling like I could not trust them with what I needed to tell them. And now as a mom, that's something I want to change with my kids. So I leave the doors very open, and they're still young. My oldest is only 9, but hopefully it stays that way, and they'll feel like they can come to me as I get older, but we'll see.
100% yes, they did. They made mistakes. Like, they would get angry or something. I don't know. It's difficult to be a parent, but they would always apologize when they would make a mistake, and that just really helped in the family. And it helped me see a godly example of sinning and then how to repent and how to do better. So yeah, I think if you can take anything away from that, is definitely apologize when you are in the wrong as a parent. And it shows humility, and it helped me see this is how I need to act when I make a mistake. And then I started to imitate them with my friends. So yeah, they did make mistakes.
Me and my siblings were fighting or whatever it may be. They would sit us down and read scripture and pray with us and then have us talk about it, which helped, obviously. Just being convicted, even as a kid, by the scriptures is, it helps. My mom says the scriptures it's usually what helped our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. They've made some mistakes. Don't get me wrong, but I think that I would never see them really have something that caused issues long term. And they always worked it out. They always resolved it, whether with us or whatever it is with each other. And honestly, pretty fast. To where when I would see being in growing up, other friends and how their parents talk to each other, I was almost oh, I thought this was only in movies that people talk to each other like this. Because I just wouldn't see that in my house. But because when mistakes were made, it wasn't they wouldn't go at each other. And so, but I would see that even observing it as a guest in somebody's house. And so they had conflicts, but they would resolve it in a way that I didn't realize was alien to most people, sadly.
I know it sounds cliche, but honestly, it really boiled down to their relationship with God, because they lived by a standard, and we saw that really they had an authority, and that was God, and they were accountable to the Bible. And so they would bring that up. And so this translated into their personal discipleship, the unity they had in their marriage, their consistency in their discipline of us. At home, they were sharing their faith when we were at the store. They were sharing their faith with my teachers at school, with my friends' parents, that I was hanging out with. So I think I really respected them because I saw discipleship a part of our daily life. And even Mike shared, we would have disciples over for dinner. So I remember walking home from school and seeing a brother's car in the parking lot, or in our driveway, and just being so excited and running home because I knew that the brother was there to hang out with us and have dinner with our family. And so, just seeing discipleship as a part of all of our life really made it a special place. And I think it really made a deep impact on me.
Awesome. One thing I appreciate that I didn't appreciate as a child because you don't really notice is I never remember my parents complaining about being disciples. I don't remember them complaining about whether it was the schedule or we would never have men's and women's midweek. It was just congregational midweek every Wednesday with childcare. They never complained about that. They never complained about missions contribution. They never complained about moving to help out a church or the distance. I never once remember them complaining at all about the cost of being a disciple. And I think I never realized that as a kid, but now I just think it's left me a really great example of what it looks like to never make excuses and never to just be a victim and be down. I think that's a huge one that really, really, I think has helped me to be a faithful disciple.
Looking back, I think what I really appreciate that I didn't understand back then is how out of the way my parents went to make sure that I did have a lot of good influences around me. They would invite the campus brothers over so that I could be around them, and they would have different disciples come and pick us up from school and take us different places, and they made sure that I was friends with other kids my age in the church. And so my circle of influence was not just the kids I went to school with, but they did a really good job of not being the only ones sort of building my faith. They knew that it would take a village, and so rather than putting themselves front and center and trying to lead every family devotional, they put me around a lot of other disciples. They really used the kingdom in an effective way, I think, to build my faith early on, and I really appreciate that now.
I think really spending time together, having those specific family times that just really bonded us from such a young age. We just went on a trip a couple weeks ago, and one of the last nights we were there, we had a dinner. We sat down for dinner with all my siblings. Who's my brother lives in a different country with his wife, so it's tough not being with them. But being able to be all together, and we're just all laughing and having fun, and it's my parents. It's like my parents obviously brought us all together, and just the fact that we all want to spend time with them, and even our spouses and significant others want to be with my parents. I think that's so special. So what mattered most, just seeing them live out discipleship every day, knowing that my parents they've changed since I was a kid, of course, but knowing that they were disciples then and they're still disciples today, I don't know, that impacts me a lot, just seeing it every single day in their lives.
So for me, definitely the love, the patience when I was acting terrible, when I had attitudes, when I was difficult to deal with, like definitely the patience, the love, like I felt the love, and I was like, wow, I'm being so difficult right now, and you are just being patient with me, and you're responding with you're responding in a gentle way even when I'm being harsh. I think the love for sure made a huge impact on me, and it helped me see like what godly parents look like and what a godly example of just a human being, like what a disciple is like. So the love for sure.
Okay, this might sound kind of silly, but going to every meeting of the body, I don't think I minded when I was younger, but as I got older, it bothered me, specifically in high school when I wanted to, play around and do whatever I wanted to do. I just remember sitting in the back with the other, the cool kids, the other Kingdom kids who just didn't care, and we'd just be like whispering and laughing, and I'd get, bad looks from the pulpit from my dad preaching, telling us to be quiet. But it makes an impact now, and I'm gonna have my kids do the same, because seeing disciples, discipling every Sunday, every midweek Bible talk, Friday devotionals, it is really impactful to see disciples all the time.
The things that I didn't appreciate back then, but I realize now they mattered a lot, was moving. We moved a lot, you know. When I was, I'm not sure how old I was, 5 or 6, moved from Arizona to California. And in California, we were there for, I don't remember, 5 to 6 years. Sorry, other way around. California, Arizona. We were there for like 5 to 6 years in Arizona. And I feel like we lived in like multiple cities, you know, and home is always moving. And then we moved back to California and then still moving around there. And for schooling, not just homes, but even for schooling, changing schools, middle school, mid-high school, mid-elementary school, all these things. And, you know, back then I just felt like I couldn't really have friends, but I think the value that I think that I actually got even before being a disciple, I understood its value I think I understood it maybe around the end of my high school year, was that it made me like resilient and not feel like I have to like please people. Because at the end of the day, like they're just people, like we all vanish. It sounds grim, but we all vanish, you know, like what do I have to do to like please people? Like I could move in like a year or two and not see you again. Why do I have to impress you, you know? But then it helped me like, I don't know, I think because of that, it made me not really feel interested in having to do what everyone else does for the same reason, you know, like it's not, and moving is, and obviously you read the Bible about Abraham, he took his family and moved, but for me, like just that being put in action, and I think everyone has their own experience, it built in me, I would say, just resilience, and the nature of relationship doesn't have to be based on people pleasing. And I would say it taught me that pretty early on. I didn't see it back then, but I saw it right like as I was leaving high school.
Don't be afraid to expose your children to the sacrifices of a disciple. Don't try to protect them from the sacrifices that we make. In the sense that, like, for us, you know, we've moved around a lot. And so it's always been in the back of our head is, you know, how will this affect our children? And yet, you know, for me, I was on a mission team when I was 3 years old, where we were the only children in the church, me and my brother at that time. And yet, I had a great childhood, you know, that was a sacrifice my parents made to be on a mission team, and yet it turned out fine, you know, and I know, you know, Mike moved around a lot as a kid, and so for us, not that moving is like the biggest sacrifice to make, but that our children can be a part of our discipleship and can have an awesome childhood. We can teach them to, you know, make new friends. We can teach them that going to meetings of the body can be fun, having friends at church, learning about the Bible. And so we want to expose them to how awesome life is as a disciple, and feel like they can have an awesome life, you know, being a part of the kingdom, even at a young age.
Yeah. What I would say is just your enthusiasm about discipleship will last a lifetime for your children as well. So I think check your heart and make sure you're having great quiet times and you're grateful and you're not feeling any resentment whatsoever, because I've grown up with a lot of other kids that did not make it. They're not faithful to this today. And I think, you know, looking back on it, I don't think their parents led the way in that area. I think they probably complained, they were not happy, they had attitudes, and man, if a kid picks up on that, it's going to really affect your family, big deal. So I think my advice is watch your heart and really just show your kids how fired up you are to be a disciple.
Advice I would give to parents is, I think that the most important thing you can do for your kids is to be a consistent disciple. It's confusing if you're one way at church, but home is totally different. Have a lot of disciples over at your home, be in Bible studies at home. Your kids will notice those things. And I think having the consistent devotional plan matters less, because it's all presentation, it's just performative if there is a lack of consistent discipleship on your end. And then I think when they get a little older, you have to be okay with them being immature, right? A 13 or 14-year-old disciple is a disciple, although an incredibly immature disciple. And I think don't hold your teens to a standard that would have crushed you when you were a teen. So that's what I would say.
I could tell you a lot, okay? I've been a mom for 9 years. And yeah, I could say a lot, but I'll say two things. Just live out discipleship in front of them every day. Read your Bible in front of them and pray. Pray with them, but also let them see you pray like my mom was praying by the side of her bed, weeping. It's a memory that's stuck in my head, just knowing that that's where she went when she was struggling. So yeah, let them see you pray. I think that's so important. But also just value your kids. Value your kids individually, but also just the time that you have with them. It's so short. It's so short. I remember like rocking my 9-year-old as a baby, you know, when he was 6 months or whatever. I just remember him being so little, and now he's almost as tall as me. And it's just, I blinked and he's getting older. And, you know, now I have 2 more babies. And so just knowing how to implement that differently. With my older 2, I was a single mom for part of the time when they were really little. So I was working, they were in a Montessori school, and so I'd pick them up after work and we'd go home and eat dinner and get them in the bath and rush them to bed because I just wanted to like relax and be done with my day. Now I can't even look back at pictures of them from that time because it hurts. Like I did not value when they were little, and I just don't really remember that time because I was just rushing through life. So really value the time with them because it's so important. It's important to help them spiritually, but also just in general, just building that bond with them is so important. And they're growing up. Before you know it, they're going to be bigger.
Parents, if you take anything from this, make sure to be very patient with your child and to be very loving, because they will feel it and they will know what a disciple looks like by their love, you know?
What I would say to all of the parents who are raising kids in the kingdom right now is, I don't know, maybe it sounds biased, but I would truly say be unapologetic in prioritizing God. And because as a kingdom kid with many other child kingdom kid friends, sometimes like as a parent, I've seen other parents too, just because I'm close to them, the uncles and aunties in the kingdom, that I've seen it how they say, well, maybe I did something wrong. And some people say I did something wrong by doing too much, by doing too little, and maybe I was too hard on them in one way, this way. But at the end of the day, like, God has mercy on whom he wants to show mercy. And it's not really about really what you did all the time. It's not really about, I didn't raise them exactly the kingdom way, exactly the Bible, exactly this. And I didn't do the way this parent does, and their kids are disciples. And I find it's really easy to look back and feel those things. But when you are in a spot where you just unapologetically put the kingdom first, that's all you can really do. And, you know, God has mercy on whom he will have mercy on. So it's not, we want to find just the best way, but you have to do what you got to do. And, you know, your kids, as they grow up, will make the decision for themselves. And so don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Did I do it the exact way? Just gotta do what is right. And I find that, you know, God's grace will work out the way he intends it to work out. So that's me and my experience. You know, great memories, great times. And I only want to do the same for my daughter as well.